The portal is open, and of course, Coach Prime in Colorado is turning up inside the portal. Let's talk about it. Who are they after? Who's some names to be on the lookout for after the bumper? Stay tuned. What is going on, everybody? What is going on, everybody? My name is JeffLightsyJr. This is the Victory Formation Sports Show right here on JeffLightsYjr. YouTube, Facebook, wherever you get your content. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe, and the notification bell because we upload all the time. Now, the transfer portal is popping. Let me repeat: the transfer portal is popping, and of course, Colorado has their name and sights on certain big time players, and the big time players are filling Colorado as well. There's visits being set up. There are guys that are listing their top 6 already and have Colorado in the mix. And let's get right into it. I'm going to go and share my screen and show you some of the tweets that I've been seeing. This one put out by Pete Nakos of On 3. It says NC State transfer wide receiver Casey Concepcion, one of the best wide receivers in the transfer portal, is down to 6 schools. On 3 has learned he's down to Alabama, Colorado, Florida State, Miami, South Carolina, Texas A&M, ranked as the number 2 player in the portal by On 3. Now, this is steep competition. Let me not get it twisted. This is Bama. This is A&M. This is Miami. This is Florida State. This is South Carolina. If you know nothing else about none of these teams, know that they have a nice little bag lined up for one Casey Concepcion. This man was the ACC Freshman of the Year 2 years ago. He followed it up with some people would call a terrible quarterback play, but some people call a disappointing year and still had 8 touchdowns. A disappointing year being 8 touchdowns ain't too bad, and that's why he's one of the hottest commodities in the transfer portal. But it doesn't stop there for Colorado because, as we know, there are some other big time players that are looking to visit as early as this weekend. Let me go ahead and share my screen once again because this article comes from On 3. It says a pair of Alabama transfers in receiver Caleb Odom and defensive tackle Jaheim Oates will also be in Boulder. Oates is already trending towards the Buffs on 3 RPM. This list will likely grow by Saturday. 6 are expected. It goes on to say the top quarterback target for Colorado is Liberty's Kadon Salter. I keep calling him Slater, and it's Salter. Salter will be at Syracuse on Friday. He's setting up a visit with Sanders and the Buffaloes next week. The talented signal caller would be a nice bridge, as I pointed out before, nice bridge between Shedeur Sanders and incoming blue chipper Julian Lewis. Now, I did a whole video on Kadon Salter, so there's no need to rehash that. But the 2 players from Bama, those are huge. One being Caleb Odom, who was a 5-star tight end, wide receiver hybrid coming out of high school. But he was also, as you probably know by now, he was also a teammate of one Julian Lewis. During Julian Lewis's freshman year, Odom caught 12 touchdown passes from Julian. During Julian's sophomore year, Caleb caught 13 touchdown passes from Julian. These are 2 guys that have a connection. As we know, Caleb went on to play his junior/senior year, and then Odom went on to Alabama. Wasn't what he wanted it to be, Alabama. That doesn't take away the fact that his talent still reigns supreme. His talent is still there, and he already has the connection with the quarterback of the future in Colorado, that being one Juju Lewis. That is a name that I'd keep a very, very keen eye on. And then we're talking about Jaheim Oates. Jaheim Oates, over 300 pounds, 6'4", I think, 300-pound defensive lineman from Alabama. That is a guy that a lot of teams in the portal want. That is a guy that contributed to an Alabama team this year that went 9-3 in the SEC. That is a guy that if you're replacing defensive players up front, which you are, some of these guys going off to the NFL, some of the guys hitting the transfer portal, et cetera, that is the type of player that you want on your defensive front. A Jaheim Oates like that to mix in with some of these freshmen and other transfer portal players that you're going to be in on. Those are the type of players that you need, bringing that work ethic and mindset from a place like Alabama to be able to lead some of your young bulls. Now, you also have to bolster that offensive line. We talked about the defensive line with Jaheim Oates. You have to bolster that offensive line. And right here, we learned that Oklahoma center Joshua Bates is scheduling a trip to Colorado early next week, according to Tom Loy. He is a native of Durango, Colorado. This always works well for a player coming back home. It's more of like that homecoming. You go off to Oklahoma, you go off to play in the SEC, you have some experience, you learn, you play a little bit, maybe you don't, whatever, and then you come back home to finish your career. Especially when you're back home, you have a chance to play for Coach Prime. You have a chance to win the Big 12 championship. You have a chance to play for a team that's coming off a 9-3 season that's going to see a Johnny Unitas Award, a Maxwell Award winner, a Walter Camp Award winner, and a Heisman Trophy Award winner in Travis Hunter. Yeah, that's not a bad gig. Now, granted, they're gone, they're leaving, but that doesn't take away the fact that you get a chance to play for a team and a coaching staff and a program that produced that type of talent, that produced and that helped him get to where he ultimately will end up getting. And that is Shedeur Sanders, more than likely being the number 1 overall pick if the Raiders hold steady, and Travis Hunter being a top 3 pick as long as the draft order. Well, he's going to be a top 3 pick no matter what. The first 2 will probably be quarterback Shedeur, Cam Ward, and then after that, you will see Travis Hunter. So that is big because they're going to need to bolster that offensive line. You're losing some guys to maturation to graduation, but you're bringing in Carday Smith. I think he's going to hold down your right tackle. You're going to need some guys to compete with him, though. You don't just want to give it to him. You got to have him come in and compete. Cash Cleveland is going to hold down your center. You're going to need someone to bolster those inside, those guards. And then, of course, you got Big George Seaton at the left tackle, your stronghold out there making things happen. And then, of course, FIU wide receiver Eric Rivers has locked in the following visits. This is according to On3, Miami, Nebraska, Penn State, and then the last but not least, December 21st and the 22nd, Colorado. Eric Rivers had over 1,000 yards receiving this year for FIU, and I think he had double-digit touchdowns. Don't quote me on that, but Eric Rivers, as you see the list right here, Miami, Nebraska, Penn State, these guys don't go after just garbage players in the portal. They're going after the top players in the portal, and you're going to be in a battle for a player like that. Eric Rivers is a top dude. He's got a bunch of teams they're interested in his services, and so you're going to be in a battle. But the portal is heating up for Colorado. Of those players, the players that I feel the most confident in Colorado landing are the 2 from Alabama. Caleb Odom, having that relationship with Juju Lewis, having that relationship and knowing that he'll be able to come in and immediately contribute to an offense, whether Juju's the starter or not. That is going to be very, very appealing. And this is a 5-star talent. This is a guy that was recruited by every country, every school in the country. And he has the opportunity to bounce back and land at Colorado and play with his former high school teammate. Also, Jaheim Otis, the Alabama defensive tackle. I think that's a lock. I think the On3 guys are pretty on top of that, feeling like that's going to go in Colorado's favor. Those are the 2 I have the most confidence in. The one that I would be the most excited about, if you're able to land Kaidon Salter to be that bridge between Juju Lewis and him getting on the field. Now, I know everybody wants to just throw Juju to the wolves and make him start as a 17-year-old freshman. Let me repeat, Juju reclassified. And he ain't one of those reclassifies that got held back in the 2nd grade and now is just going back to his original grade. That's what a lot of these reclassifications are. Juju's not one of those. He reclassified and he's enrolling early. That is a guy that may need some time to develop and grow and adjust to the collegiate game. I know that you believe that Juju can come in and be Shedeur Sanders right away. I'm telling you that's not going to happen, but that's okay. It's not to say that he can't be the type of talent or play at the level that Shedeur played by the end of his career, by the end of Juju's career. At the same time, he's not going to come in as a 17-year-old freshman and be what you just saw from Shedeur that's going to lead for him to be the number 1 overall pick. That's not what's going to happen. And so having a bridge quarterback like a Kaidon Salter, a guy who is talented, it's not like this guy's a soup sandwich. He's talented. 2 years ago, he threw for 32 touchdowns. His completion percentage went down and his touchdowns went down this year, but we did see him throw for 32 touchdowns and lead Liberty to a bigger bowl game. See what he's able to do. That would be the one I'd be the most excited about. But if you're not able to land him and you got to rock with Juju, getting his old high school teammate who he threw almost 30 touchdowns to over the 2 years that they played together, it's not a bad consolation. It's not a bad consolation. And also, if you're able to add either a Casey Concepcion or Eric Rivers or some combination of the both to go with Amarian Miller, to go with some of the guys that you already have coming back for Colorado next year, and they're going to hit the portal. And so these wide receiver weapons that you're bringing in, like the kid from Texas and some of these other guys, you're going to have some weapons. Quanell Farrakhan and Wilson, all these dudes that you're bringing in freshmen to go with the veterans. Gonna have a lot. Juju's gonna have a lot of options, but having his old high school teammate that he already has chemistry with, that he's played with before, that will be big. And that's a 5-star talent. Let's not take away from the fact that he is a 5-star talent. That'll be big as well. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Who do you want to see Colorado go after, or who would you be most excited about them landing? My name is Jeff Lightsy Jr. This is the Victor Formation Sports Show right here on Jeff Lightsy Jr. YouTube, Facebook, wherever you get your content. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe, and the notification bell because I upload all the time. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you next time. Peace.